press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello my dear students, how are you all? Hope doing good? Yes. Okay, let us start with a new chapter today. Okay, Lifelines of National Economy. Before I start this lesson, let me ask you a few questions. What you people did do during this lockdown? Okay, no doubt you people have come across many hurdles, you have come across many things, you have heard about many things, right? Okay, when the lockdown started, maybe March 23rd or 24th, right? Yes. So, for the schools and all, it was March 14th itself, right? Yes. So, what happened during this lockdown? See, during lockdown, you might have come across many things. For example, if at all you had been to a shop and all, they asked you people to take much or to purchase things in the large quantity, even if it was something related to like groceries. They asked you to purchase it in a large quantity. What is the reason they asked, or the shopkeepers asked you to purchase it in a large quantity? They added, right? They added there saying, madam or sir, this may not be available just after a month or anything. So please see that you purchase it now itself. What is the reason they might have said this? Have you ever thought like what may be the reason why, when all of a sudden there was a lockdown, or say when the lockdown period got open, okay, now even if you go now to the shops and all, most of the people they say there is no availability, or probably some people they do say, ma'am, we are not getting the way the materials what we want on time. Why is that these things are coming up? Have you ever wondered? Okay, see, the last chapter what we had discussed was manufacturing industries, right? In your geography. So what did you learn there? You did manufacture, right? You did manufacture so many things there. You got to know like how to manufacture, what exactly happens, how these industries choose their location, right? All those things you came across. So you even did understand how the manufacturing is done, what is the definition of manufacturing, what is goods, what is service, right? How manufacturing is helping the primary and the tertiary sector, how it is binding both these things, right? You might have understood those things. So now as you have manufactured, can you just keep it at one particular place? Can you just keep it wherever you have produced, wherever you have manufactured? Okay, whatever you have done, whatever you have produced or whatever you have manufactured, can you just keep it at one particular, can you dump it and keep? Yes, is it possible? No, right? So when we say this, okay, we come across so many things. Like, have you ever thought how a particular thing which is not produced or manufactured, okay, which is not manufactured or produced in your particular place, in your place, how it reaches that place? Have you ever thought, have you ever given like a kind of what I can say, triggered your brain saying that yes, how does this happen, how is it possible, right? So see, it is possible only because we have this trading facility, or say transport facility. See what happens when we say, see now let me put up the things in this manner. So when it comes to transport, okay, when it comes to transport, see what had happened, lockdown period, okay, during lockdown there were so many restriction, right? There were so many restriction regarding what? Restriction regarding transport, right? They had put a restriction saying that there should not be like from state to state there should not be any like transport. No person can travel from other state to the from different states and all. No, you should not. Within state, you like earlier it was you can't even travel anywhere within the state. Later on they started saying you can travel within the state but you cannot go to some other state. So these were certain lockdown restrictions which we came across, right, because of which there were restriction at every stage. So as these restrictions were there, what happened, we could see that there were like people could not reach or people could not get the things on time. See, however, we people are very safe comparative to other the states and all, or say other places. We are really very safe, wherein we like most of the transportation or most of the facilities were available to us. But there were few places wherein even the basic needs that could not reach on time. So there was a huge fight for that. Okay, see why these restrictions were put. Now we have we have the restriction only because of the pandemic, right? Whatever like the disease what we are facing, it is not exactly the disease, like it is the virus which has made each and every person get scared of, and that's the reason we have come across there's a restriction, or say the transportation is not as expected, right? People cannot travel, first thing. Now let me tell you a simple example. You people wear nice clothes and all, right? Clothing. Now imagine the other day I had been for a shop. Okay, I had been for a shop here in Davangere itself. I needed few style of clothing there. Okay, I asked them, so and so style number you have, right? Branded clothes you have the numbers and all. Like that number I asked, and I asked for that particular clothing. They said, madam, only so and so things are available. I just asked them why, what is the reason, because now the trading has started, like the transportation is also good, but even then like you have only these many things to choose. I cannot choose among those. Even the other shops, now forget about brand, even the other shops I couldn't get good materials. What I heard there was, madam, no doubt the transport is available, okay, no doubt they are sending us. See, if at all it is branded, no doubt they will be knowing what exactly they have to send. So if you say the number, those things will be sent only if those are like already ready, manufactured, already produced, already manufactured. If those things are readily available, definitely they will send it. But imagine other things. Now the fabric. How do you choose a cloth? You touch it, you feel it, right? You wear it, you see how it looks, right? The fabric, whether you feel comfortable, whether the cloth, the cloth is like totally you can rely upon, whether the fabric is excellent, all the things you check, right? So what that person said, the shopkeeper, the person told me, ma'am, all these days I used to check the materials, okay, on my own. I used to check, and I used to ask those people to send the same. Everything I used to select, I would keep it in a lot, and later on they would transport it. But now the things has changed, ma'am. They send me the pictures, okay, photos, and I had to select, and whatever I ask them, they will be sending. But now what is happening, in the photo you will be having one particular color, but once it reaches you, it will be different color. So because of those problems, we are not able to get the sufficient goods. See now, how many problems, right? Because of one transportation system, one restriction on the transportation system, these problems has arisen, right? Agree with me? Do you agree with me? So now this is how the lockdown period is, like each and every person has faced problem in one or the other way. People, a common man, he has faced the problem wherein the things couldn't reach him on time, right? Non-availability of goods, non-availability of services, right? Most of the problems, see, not now, okay, lockdown is fine. Some natural disaster, okay, flood, tsunami, all those things do happen, right? So how the things will be reaching them? So again, that is a question mark. So when it comes to lifelines of national economy, today we'll be learning about trade, what exactly is trade, what exactly is transport, okay, how the transport facility is given, are there any kinds or modes of transport, okay, like how, what is the best way, whether there are any modes of transport through which the transport can be done. Are there any, like apart from that, do we have any other facility wherein we can make the produced goods or the manufactured goods reach the consumer? See, let me tell you one thing, when it comes to the manufacturing, okay, or say when it comes to the transport, before we speak about transport, like there are stages. Very first stage is your production, right? You have to produce certain goods, or say you have to manufacture the goods. And yes, so once it is produced or once it is manufactured, then only those goods can be sold, right? Anything that is produced, anything that is manufactured cannot be dumped within ourselves, right? Within like a place we cannot dump it. It has to be distributed. So, very first thing is production or say manufacturing. So, when it comes to the production, it is the action of making or manufacturing. Okay, so production, while dealing with manufacturing, I have already said that production may include manufacturing. So, it is the production is nothing but it is making or manufacturing of certain goods, okay, or like from components or see using the raw materials, and the process of being so manufactured, it undergoes certain process and finally you get a product there. So, that itself is production. So, production of goods, okay, or even production of services they say, okay, we cannot manufacture the service, we can call it as production of services. So, either goods or service, whatever you produce, can you just keep it with you? No, that has to be distributed, right? The second stage here is distribution. So, what is distribution? Distribution is nothing but it has to reach each and every person. Okay, distribution wherein people has to get it. Okay, once you produce the goods and services, it has the need of like transportation. So, meeting the demands, okay, like distribution. So, equally either sometimes equally it is distributed, sometimes unequal. So, it depends. Now, see, during lockdown it was unequal itself because of the transportation. The transportation was totally restricted, right? Or say there was no good transportation facility, right? As the transportation facility was totally stopped, the distribution was unequal, right? Yes. The third stage is consumption, okay, which is again a very important stage. So, production. So, the last unit we had discussed, when it comes to geography, we had discussed about manufacturing industries. So, how these manufacturing industries come into existence? It checks for the need, okay, to meet the needs of the people. These manufacturing industries have come into existence, and definitely the location will be chosen by the industrialist itself, or say the industries, they choose the location at first, then only they decide. So, once they produce, okay, once the products are produced, so it has to be packed, okay. So, those produced goods has to reach the market. So, how it will be reaching? Through distribution. And how, sorry, like distribution is nothing but it has to be distributed in the market. How it will be reaching? Through transport, okay, trade and transport. So, in this particular chapter, you will be learning certain things. What are the learning objectives are? Like you will understand the lifelines of national economy. So, lifelines, what are the lifelines to increase the national economy? Whether these things, okay, like the production, distribution, whether these are adding to the economy of the nation? How, if they are adding, how it is adding? And don't you think like for transport, when we say transportation and all, are like, don't they have any expenses? Definitely it will be having the like expenses, right? Yes. So when it comes to this, what exactly they can you will be learning here is the lifelines. Okay, like what are the lifelines? Those are available for the national economy. That is the first thing you will be learning. The second is modes of transport. In that itself, very first is how important transportation is. So now itself you got to know, right? You with the lockdown period, okay, the lockdown period itself, you have learned how difficult it goes if there is no transportation, if there is no good transportation, if at all there are restriction on the transportation, what exactly happens, how people do suffer. So all these things we have come across. So when it comes to the transportation, you will be learning here, okay, in this particular chapter you will be learning modes of transport. Okay, what are the modes, whether there is only one mode or there are different modes, and how important the transportation is. Okay, apart from that, is it like only the like how do we do this transport? Do we need anything? See, now let me tell you, as I told you about the shopkeeper who said that, madam, earlier I used to touch the fabric, understand the fabric, or say feel the fabric, and then I used to purchase it, right? But now we are doing like the photos will be sent. What is this? The communication, and communication matters a lot. As you all know, communication matters a lot. If there is no communication, good communication, so how the communication has to be improved, how the transportation has to be improved. So all these things will be learning in this particular chapter. See, importance of the roadways. Okay, what is the importance? How good the roadway, okay, the transportation through road is, or say like whether which one is advisable, whether it is roadway, railway, airways or waterways, which one is better, which one is comfortable, or say like gives you the most good outcome. Okay, so all those things will be learning here. So importance of roadways, railways, okay, waterways and pipelines, these things will be learning. Then you will be learning about importance of transport and communication. Okay, so how these transport, okay, how important this transportation is, okay, and how how it can be improved, in what way it can be improved, and how important is communication. So all these things will be learning in this particular chapter. So when it comes to this, let me tell you one thing. Please make a list of materials and say the services what you receive in a day. Excuse me. So like see, every day you come across or you use many materials, right? Every second, every day you need one or the other material. Now itself, see, I had to use the board, chalk piece, right? All those things. So all those things are necessary. In the same way, when it comes to you people, just make a list. Okay, like make a list to see what all things do you use in a particular day. Okay, this is one particular work what you have to do. So today we will be learning about these things. So that is what is trade, what is transport. So I have already explained like what is the learning objective here regarding this chapter. So you will be learning about how the products will be reaching the market or say the consumer. So we know about goods, okay, we know about what exactly is goods. So goods are the materials or the end products, okay, those are the end products which are consumed by the consumer, and it is tangible in nature. So goods are tangible, services are intangible, but again we do use it, we do consume it, right? For example, like transportation, again that is a service, if we come across transportation, that is definitely a service, right? Yes. So, we got to know what is production, distribution and consumption. See, consumption is nothing but you have to consume it. The consumer consumes it. So, when a consumer is consuming it, so he has to get it from somewhere, right? So, it has to be distributed, things has to be distributed, and before distribution there has to be production. So, there are stages, okay, from raw material, okay, raw material, certain like those raw materials, they undergo certain process, okay, and there will be some end product that would be produced. And once a product comes into existence, that product has to be distributed. So, it has to be distributed through transportation. So, through transportation itself, the goods or say services will be reaching the market. So, in your daily life, you have come across many materials and even services. You might like mobile phones, when you are using internet now, that is a service, right? Yes. So, like when it comes to these things, there are you can see certain things are readily available in your surroundings, right? For example, those who are near to the market, okay, we will speak about what is market also very soon. So, those who are really near to the market, so once you go there, vegetables you get fruits, you get medicines, you get other stationery, grocery materials, etc. If you you are away from the market, okay, let us go somewhere interior place, okay, there you have shops, no doubt you have shops, but do you get all the things readily available there? Will that be possible for you people to get all the things immediately there? Definitely not, right? It goes very difficult there. So, why is it why there is a difference that few things will be easily available in a particular surrounding and few you have to go to that particular place and you have to seek for it. So, why these are differences? Okay, these things will be learning today. So, see yes, so what happens, so when things are not available at one particular place, those, and if at all a person demands, okay, you have to keep in mind, you have to learn what exactly is demand. So, imagine there is a need or say there is a demand for one particular thing, but that is not readily available. So, how that thing will be reaching that particular place wherein the particular product is having the demand. So, this we have to keep in mind. So, now let us know exactly what is trade today. Okay? Yes. See, what is a trade? Trade is nothing but it is the buying and selling of goods. We have been studying this, right? So, we have studied even in economics, even in previous chapters of geography, right? So, trade is nothing but it is the buying and selling of goods. So, a person has to purchase and or say he has to sell. So, business, it is a kind of business. So, wherein you are selling and buying the goods. So, when it comes to trade, okay, when it comes to trade, certain restrictions are put. All the things cannot be distributed in one particular place. The distribution should be equal. Every place, a particular thing has to reach every particular place. Okay, so these things, the government has to make sure about all these things. Okay, so trade. So trade is nothing but the purchase or say the buying and selling of goods. What exactly is transport then? Yes, transport. See, when it comes to transport, the movement of goods and services, okay, it is nothing but the movement of goods and services right from their supply location to the demand location. Now you came across two words, that is supply and demand, right. So, what is this supply and what is demand? So, when it comes to supply and demand, see, what is transport? Transport is nothing but from the place of supply, nothing but from the place of production to the place of demand, nothing but consumption. So where is distribution then? It is hiding, okay, it is like implied, it is implied there. So from the place of supply to the place of demand. So today, see, imagine now you feel that okay, okay, let me give you a best example. You know, there was scarcity of a tomato sauce, okay, tomato sauce, there was actually the scarcity. We were not getting the brands we usually use, okay, I have come across this. So like I had almost a month or so we did face problem because we did not get the product what exactly I wanted, okay, or the company wherein I was relying upon, okay. So now I had a demand there, but was there a supply? No. The reason is there was a trade restriction. There were so many restrictions on the trade. So that is the reason those products could not reach the place of demand. So what is the demand according to you? Demand is nothing but it is an economic principle, no doubt. It is totally a economic word, okay, and it refers to the consumer's desire. It is the consumer's desire. Now I wanted something, right? I was in need of certain things, or saying you might be like feeling that yes, I need so and so thing. So when these things, when those things, the desire, okay, the desire increases, right? The desire of want, that itself can be called as a demand. You actually demand there. Don't you have this product? Don't you have so and so thing available? So you ask for it, right? You do demand for it. So that itself is demand. So it is nothing but like the desire, the consumer's desire to purchase goods and service and willingness to pay. Not only like purchasing the goods, how you have to purchase it? Definitely you have to pay for it, right? Once you pay for it, definitely it would be like yes, you are willing to meet those demand, right? You are willing to meet the demand. So that's the reason what's the definition given is demand is nothing but it is like the consumer's desire to purchase, okay, goods or say service. It can be anything, either goods or say service, and the willingness to pay, okay, he should have even the willingness to pay for whatever goods or services he is taking. So that can be called as the demand here. So what is supply? Supply here is nothing but the total number of specific goods or service that is available to the consumer. See, supplying. So see, no doubt there was a demand, okay, there was a demand for certain products during the lockdown. But as there was no supply, you might have heard these things, right? Your shopkeeper might have said you, madam, there is no supply, supply ilri, right? You might have heard this. So what is that supply? So when it comes to supply, it is nothing but the total number of specific good or say service that is available to the consumers. So consumers are the one who will be demanding, okay. So their demand has to be fulfilled, right? Their demand has to be met, okay. Meeting the demand, okay, meeting the demand through this, you know, like transportation, distribution, etc. Okay, so supply and demand, it has to go hand in hand. So meeting the demand, okay, so that itself is the main motto. So consumers always have this. So human wants are unlimited. I have been telling this, right? Always I have told you. So human wants are unlimited. So every day it keeps changing. Every now and then it keeps changing, right? So meeting those demand is very, very important. So that is done by supplying. So supplying, you know, they supply the things whenever it is demanded. So what is a transport? Transport is nothing but the movement, okay, it is the movement. So what is that? Movement of what? Movement of goods and services. So the production, okay, whatever produce, whatever things that has been produced, okay. So the movement of that production, okay, movement of whatever they have produced, okay, from the place of supply to the place of demand, okay. So the movement of goods and services from the place of supply to the place of demand. So this itself is nothing but transport. So when it comes to what is transport, the easiest definition is movement of goods, okay, movement of goods from the place of supply to the place of demand, okay, to meet the demand, to meet the needs, okay, to like what I can say is to satisfy the needs, okay, to satisfy the needs whenever the supply is done, to meet the demand, if at all the supply is given, then that itself is called as transport. So what exactly is this international trade, and why international trade is being given much more importance nowadays? See, it is like meeting the international standards. So this I will be discussing in the next class. So dear students, today we will discuss about what is trade, what is transport, and the stages here, how the things do go, the production, the distribution and the consumption, the three stages which is equally important, and we came across the definition for supply and demand. So the international trade, why international trade is important, why, like how the transportation is done, whether transportation is helpful, okay, how it is helpful, how it is helping the nation, how it is helping in improvement or say development of a nation. So all these things will be discussed in the next class. Thank you so much dear students, have a great day.